Chapter 10. Release, Lightning Element. Come on, come, get in a line. Number off. Mo Fan calmed himself and put his full focus on once more attempting to control the 7th star. The first star was the most obedient one. After all, it had been caressed every day. As soon as Mo Fan issued a command, the star immediately stopped its lively movements, leaving it floating in the middle of the star dust. The 2nd star seemed somewhat stubborn. It showed an unwillingness to cooperate, as it quickly followed the 1st star. Following behind them were the 3rd, 4th, and 5th stars. The 6th star was extremely obedient. It eagerly ran to the formation. All right, there's only the last star left. Mo Fan put all of his focus, all of his spiritual powers, into the 7th star. The 7th star orbited at a high speed within the star dust before it heard Mo Fan's thoughts and gradually slowed down. It carried an impatience and unhappiness as it slowly took its place in the star path. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. As Mo Fan noticed the 7th star showing signs of submitting, he began to feel a slight excitement. The first 6 stars are like dogs. If you shout, then they'll obediently sit down, motionless. The 7th star was like a cat, freaking cold and impatient from head to toe. Since you want me to stay still, then I'll do my best to make it difficult for you. Slowly, slowly, the 7th star finally stopped in its tracks as it followed along the path of the other 6 stars. Star path complete. Magic, appear. Mo Fan, who wore a black t-shirt, was sitting in the back row of the bus. He suddenly had a curved track curling around his body. A purple star dust trajectory flashed past, giving Mo Fan's body an indescribable force. Lightning strike. It's lightning strike. Mo Fan's heart gave rise to a wild excitement. He couldn't help but want to laugh toward the sky. BZZZT. On his right fist, an arc of lightning coiled around his arm like a python. The force of the purple lightning fist was stored within Mo Fan's hand. If he were to brandish his hand, lightning would be sent toward the middle of the bus. Oh my God! Mage! It's a mage. It's a lightning element mage. Ah, why do I feel my entire body turning numb? A surprised voice was heard from within the bus. The older auntie who finished her round of shopping, the old man who finished exercising, the young girl who was playing on her phone with her head lowered, as well as the pervert who was molesting the girl with the phone were all stunned as they saw Mo Fan at the back of the bus. Great, great mage, I promise I won't do this again. I beg of you, please spare me. I have eyes but couldn't see Mount Tai. Suddenly, the middle-aged man who was molesting the young girl yelled out as he kneeled down, his face covered in tears as he begged for forgiveness from Mo Fan. The middle-aged pervert thought the young mage had seen his own vulgar behavior, enraged him, and caused him to activate his lightning abilities. This lightning force was extremely terrifying. All of the people on the bus were intimidated by the lightning force, causing them to feel numb all over, especially the pervert who molested the young girl. His hands were numb to the point where he couldn't feel anything. I'll spare your dog life. If I catch you doing it again, I'll immediately make you lose the use of your hands. Mo Fan stood up after understanding the situation. His aura was cold as he looked down on the pervert. Yes, I won't do it again, definitely. After saying this, the pervert frantically escaped from the bus as the driver halted. The surrounding aunties and uncles immediately reacted with praise. A few evident middle school girls looked at Mo Fan in admiration. Mom, that older brother is incredible. Am I able to become as unbelievable as him in the future? An 8-year-old child dragged at his mother's skirt and asked faintly. Becoming a mage is not something anyone can do, especially a lightning element mage. Mo Fan realized his magic had caused a huge uproar within the bus. In order to avoid the disturbance, Mo Fan quickly departed. After exiting, Mo Fan's heart was the same as before, unable to calm down. Sheet, that is so freaking cool. Recalling the lightning strike twirling around his arm and the dreadful feeling of being able to easily eliminate a person was unprecedented. It was like a dream. This is magic? This is magic. Mo Fan's heart throbbed incessantly. Even though he didn't activate Lightning Fist, Mo Fan could still feel the might of the lightning force. It came from within his body, he could control it, and it brought a strength he never considered before. The reverence everyone on board of the bus directed at him, the pervert who was kneeling on the floor, begging for forgiveness, and the mysterious lightning force that spiraled around his fist. This really is an inconceivable. Ha 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 ha. I have learned the lightning strike. and I only needed a semester to do so. I want to see how you guys are going to stand in my way now. Mu Bai, Zhao Ting. All of them will have to kneel before me. Mo Fan was able to control Lightning Fist in just a semester. The fact is, the school gave the students 1 year to complete this ability. From the beginning of the school year to the end of the semester, Mo Fan had only used 5 months' worth of his available time. If this speed was known publicly, then his classmates and teacher, or even the students and teachers of the entire school, would be completely dumbstruck. It seemed like the student who was favored by the magical beast teacher, Zhang Jianguo, had reached the control of 4 stars not too long ago. Mu Bai was at the same level as him. Ha ha ha, this daddy has already activated Lightning Fist. How can you, Mu Bai, a green tea man, compete against me? I can feel the power of the lightning force being released from its spiral around my arm. I wonder what it'd be like if I were to truly release it? Just thinking about it makes me want to yell out in excitement. Deep breath, deep breath. I'll look like an idiot if I laugh in the middle of the road. I need to be calm. I am an incredible mage. Mo Fan actually wanted to use Lightning Strike one more time, but after he had finished the Lightning Strike earlier, his body began to feel empty and dizzy. This is probably the spiritual exhaustion that the teacher mentioned, right? Mo Fan asked himself. Generally speaking, Mo Fan could maintain 2 hours of practicing control. He would only feel spiritual exhaustion after 2 hours. He had only practiced control for 20 minutes when he was on the bus. However, in the moment he completed Lightning Strike, he felt his spiritual force being completely drained. Mo Fan still understood this point. While he was practicing control, he wouldn't complete the star path. Normally speaking, that wouldn't use too much mana. However, if he completed the star path and channeled the star force into his body, thus achieving the true effect of magic, then the majority of the mana would be gone. I've never been a mage before, but I've played all sorts of games like League of Legends, or The Legend of Mir. They all follow the same logic. Chapter 11 Yi Xinxia. Mo Fan was in a mood, humming Little Apple, as he walked toward Minwen Middle School. Minwen Middle School was a private, all-girls school. The most delicate and fashionable girls were assembled there. The difference between this and other schools was that this school didn't use the dull magic theory education, and they definitely didn't have fools who only knew how to write exams in magic books. These girls came from families with magic backgrounds, thus, they naturally knew more than the magic students who had to go through 9 years of compulsory magic education. For instance, some of them would frequently wear a magic tool ornament around their chest. These magic second-generation individuals had been wearing magical tools that enhanced their spiritual force since the day they were born. Compared to these people, Mo Fan was just a peasant who had to climb his way up, step by step. The small roads around the school were filled with luxurious vehicles as it was just in time for the end of school. Mo Fan was very clear about Xinxia's character. She would definitely go around the girls with limousines and take the small road in the alley, as she smelled the fragrance of the small bamboo by the window, which was planted by the residents. Mo Fan walked around the main entrance as he planned to wait for the little sister, Yi Xinxia, by the end of the road in the alley. There weren't many people who would use the road in the alley. Mo Fan passed through other people's courtyards as he entered the familiar road. Although the world had changed, the city with which he was so familiar hadn't changed. Neither had the bamboo by the window. Thinking about it, Yi Xinxia shouldn't have changed either. Mo Fan stood in the middle of the alley with his back leaning against a wall. He looked like a gangster waiting for an opportunity to extort arcade tokens from primary students. He would occasionally raise his eyes to look at the entrance of the alley, hoping to surprise the girl who was about to come over. Who would have thought that the beautiful silhouette would not appear for half the day? How come she's not coming? The pose in which Mo Fan was standing made him feel numb. As he slightly closed his eyes, Mo Fan was practically about to enter meditation out of habit. Suddenly, Mo Fan heard a noise coming from the entrance of the alley in the direction of the small hill. Usually, these noises and clamors would be deafened by the high walls of the alley. For some reason, these noises ended up in his ears. Could it be that the side effects of meditation had increased perception? Mo Fan began walking toward the direction of the small hill in curiosity. As he walked in the direction of the small hill, it became clear all of a sudden. The front side, at the foot of the hill, was roughly a kilometer away from the house that Mo Fan's family recently sold. Down the hill was a small lawn that looked like a small park. Near an air vent was a swing made of twisted vines. The swing was standing still, without the slightest bit of movement. Sitting on top of the swing was a girl with long, black hair. The winter wind messed her hair, revealing a silky white and delicate face. She had long eyelashes, an exquisite nose, and lips glossy like jade. She attentively looked forward in silence. It was as though she perfectly blended in as a portrait with the winter swings and delicate lotus. Cold and lovely, yet alone, as her unique temperament blossomed. Mo Fan's steps halted suddenly, without realizing when he started to enjoy looking at her like this. Seeing her sitting caused a warm current to surge within Mo Fan, flowing down the deepest part of his heart. At which point, he couldn't help but allow the corner of his mouth to curve. However, in this moment, Mo Fan felt something wasn't right. His eyebrows immediately creased as he walked toward the elegant girl sitting on the swing. The girl also felt someone walking over, however, as she saw it was Mo Fan, her face didn't appear surprised at all. She only gently laughed, as though she knew this person would be coming and she was here waiting for him. "Big brother Mo Fan," the girl called out with a sweet voice. "It's that crap again, isn't it?" As Mo Fan walked over, a faint anger crept up his face. Xinxia didn't say anything. "Today, I will definitely deal with them. They're a group of degenerates." Mo Fan's anger multiplied, and he gazed at the staircase on the hill. "There's a lot of them. Forget it." Xinxia shook her head, advising Mo Fan to drop his anger. "It's not possible to forget about it. I'm going to deal with these dregs." Mo Fan said no more and followed the staircase up. Xinxia, who was sitting on the swing, wanted to pull Mo Fan away, but Mo Fan was already climbing up the mountain, seething in anger. Xinxia was familiar with Mo Fan's temper. He has always fought the neighborhood bullies and ruffians for reasons related to her. He would fight against multiple people every time and return with wounds all over his body. This was something she wanted to see the least. The ones bothering her this time weren't some small ruffian or bullies. It was clear these people had long ago dropped out of school. The people who messed around in this area were known as the Azure Bear Gang. They were for hire to the wealthy girls living around here. Whoever they didn't like, they'd step on them. There were at least 5 people over there, and 2 of them had very sturdy bodies. Their bodies were several times bigger than Mo Fan's. If Mo Fan were to go up there to find them, he would definitely be beaten badly. On the pavilion, on the hill. "Shu Bing, don't you think we lack elegance if we do it like this?" a youth said with a cigarette hanging from his mouth and poker cards in his hands. "How are we lacking elegance? This is my 16th time expressing my sincere feelings to her, allowing her to become my girlfriend. Can I sit here on the pavilion playing cards as she considers this?" The young man called Shu Bing responded. On Shu Bing's neck was a clear azure-colored tattoo, and due to his short jacket that covered half of the tattoo on his neck, it seemed extremely eye-catching. You could tell with a single glance that he was a character that was hard to provoke. Yeah, if she wants to reject you, she would have walked away already. "King Flash, ha ha ha, give me the money, double up." Sitting on the other side, a young man wearing a cowboy hat with a hole said. "Damn, this bullshit luck of yours. One more round, one more round. We'll play till the sky turns dark. I don't believe the girl won't panic." Shu Bing narrowed his eyes, enjoying the position of someone on top. Towards girls, one had to be unyielding. A girl's natural disposition was to be shy. If one isn't a bit unyielding, then one would not be able to do anything. This girl, Xinxia, was becoming prettier with time. Seeing her really made one excited. There's actually someone who would say that I'm like a toad who wants to eat the meat of a swan. Today, I will claim this girl, and then see who would dare to say anything. "Oh right, I remember this little girl still has a brother. That's annoying," the young man in cowboy adornments commented. "His battle prowess is lacking. Other than having an unyielding character, he is just a meat bag." "You can beat him up however you want," Shu Bing said without caring much. "That's right. Before, I would be enough to deal with him. Now, I've gained some muscle. I'd like to try beating that thing up."